Hey, you. Yeah, you. You're listening to the Two Peas Podcast, where two very different people compare and contrast their top fives on a variety of topics. Today, Steph and I are talking about our favorite Disney Channel shows. It was so much fun taking a nostalgia trip together. Our favorite Disney shows varied more than I thought they would, which is kind of interesting. But what's probably even more interesting is that I made the realization that I had a crush on every single female character on every single Disney show that I watched growing up. I don't know what that says about me, but this is not a psychology podcast. This is a fun podcast. Let's get going. Hello.
Hello.
That's how you and your Nana always do your phone calls.
Hello.
Hello. Hey guys, it's the Two Peas Podcast. It's me. I'm Alex. And who's this beautiful girl over here?
Oh, I thought you were going to insult me.
No, I was either going to say fine girl or beautiful. I thought she could take fine in a bad way. Like, oh, she's fine. So I thought, no, I'm going to say beautiful because it's unmistakable. You know what I mean by beautiful.
You're a smart guy.
I've learned.
I'm Steph.
You're Steph.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today? What's going on?
You ask me like you don't know already.
I don't. Tell me.
We are going to talk about our top 5 favorite Disney Channel movies, TV shows.
Yeah, Disney Channel shows. Do you know what we're talking about?
Yeah.
You knew I was going to say that.
Apparently not. No, TV shows, because, okay, I got it mixed up in my head because I was just about to tell you. I hope you don't have any movies on your list.
No, but that would be a fun one to put on the list, the Disney Channel original movies.
Well, when I was looking through, I looked up a bunch because I remembered a couple that I liked, but then I thought, oh my gosh, I watched them in elementary school, and younger than that.
It's been a long time, yeah.
And so I was like, I'm forgetting some. So I looked it up, and there were a lot of movies on there that I was like, oh my gosh, I love that movie. And I forgot, and there were so many. So that's its own thing.
So we should throw that on our own list.
Yeah. So that's why I said movies, because I was thinking too fast.
That's okay. See,
TV
when you're
shows.
smart like Steph, you think too fast. But yes, we're talking about...
I don't know.
We're talking about, yeah, you're right. Disney Channel shows are top 5 favorites. This was suggested by our dear friend of the show, Hayden. So thank you for the suggestion, Hayden. This is a great one. If you have suggestions for us, please let us know. We'll give you a little shout out because it's fun to do that. But before we dig into this, I do want to say also, I'm going to bring it back to you, Steph, for the housekeeping stuff. Where can people check us out, talk to us, follow us?
Gosh, it's like a quiz today.
I know it's a quiz. I'm sorry.
Oh. You can follow us at the Two Peas Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and also follow us on, I don't know the YouTube lingo. Subscribe to us.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she's not a YouTuber.
On
Subscribe
YouTube.
on YouTube. Leave a comment. Tell us more topics like for us to talk about.
And give us your top 5s.
Give us your top 5s. I was about to say, join in on the conversation. We'd love to keep this going. Also at the Two Peas Pod on Instagram and Twitter. So
that's what I just said.
Oh, I missed that part.
I just said that.
I was taking a drink. Listen, I have schnapps tonight. I don't drink schnapps usually, but I'm enjoying it, and I was distracted by the yummy taste.
Oh my gosh, you asked me the question, I answered the question, and then you repeated it.
I'm sorry!
Okay, well, hey, do you have any interesting stories about Disney Channel TV shows? As a child or as an adult?
I mean, oh my gosh. I loved Disney Channel growing up. But I think... for a little, because we always like to do a little anecdotal story, little anecdote, right? A little.
Call it what it is.
Just as a story of our past, just something that's kind of in theme. We were thinking right before we recorded what we could talk about, and I thought about what's a great way for me to be able to plug what I do, and also tell an entertaining story. Because everybody wants to know more about my plugs, right? About everything I do.
I know. I wonder. Do you all know how he got started making his medleys on YouTube? I bet you don't.
Wait, what? I'm not going to go into that right now.
That's the story you're going to tell.
No, it's not. No. I'm just going to talk about the comment.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But that's
it was on my first medley.
That kept you going. I know. That's what I'm saying. It kept you going, and it
Okay.
fueled your fire.
Okay, I see what you're saying. You're kind of right in a way, I guess. Okay, so here's what happened. So if you don't know, over on YouTube, you can just type in...
Over Out Yonder in YouTube.
Over Out Yonder. Anyway, you can go to alexduquette.net, and you can see all my YouTube stuff there. Or just type in my name on YouTube. You can find it. I do medleys.
alexduquette.net.
I need that theme to play every time you go to the website. AlexDuquette.net. That's what it sounds like.
I'll sing it for you.
Do it. I love your voice. But anyway, so go to YouTube. What you'll see is what are called medleys. And just in case if you're not familiar with what a medley is basically
It's
where...
not a vegetable medley or a fruit medley.
No, but...
Unfortunately.
But the core idea of medley still means the same thing.
It does.
So a musical medley, not to be mistaken for melody. So many people call it, hey, do a new melody. It's like, no, it's not a melody. It's a medley. But I understand the confusion. Anyway, medley is where you take a bunch of snippets of songs and put them together into one song. So songs kind of blend into the other one. Most notably, or not most notably, but most commonly what happens is it's just 2 or 3 songs, and they kind of blend into each other. What I do is I take TV show theme songs, including Disney Channel. Check that out. 15 Disney Channel theme songs in 3 minutes. Go and check it out. Might be 2 minutes. Can't remember.
You can't remember?
I've done so many medleys. But anyway, what I do...
It's 3 minutes. I know that. It's 3 minutes.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
She's a fan. So, but yeah, I take 20 songs and put them in a 3-minute song. So there's a lot going on there. But if you want a nostalgia trip, especially for Disney Channel, that's my plug. Go check that out. However, there's how it's related. But here's the quick story. When I first started making medleys, this is my very first one. And it was my commercial jingles medley. I believe it was 15 and 2 minutes. I think that one was 15 and 2 minutes.
Was Stanley Steamer in it?
No, that's one I still haven't covered.
Oh.
So I might have to do a part 4.
It'd be great to hear you sing that.
Stanley Steamer, it's copy cleaner. I started way too high for my range.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting.
But anyway, I did that medley, and it started to take off a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. And then I started to get a lot of comments, and this is really cool. This is more comments than I've ever gotten on my YouTube channel. This was, over a decade ago now. And I got one comment, and most of them were like, oh, I remember that. I love Kit Kat, or I love the McDonald's theme song, or State Farm, or whatever, right? But then I got this one comment, and it said, no one asked you to do this. And I remember even at the time thinking, what does this mean? I'm racking my brain. What does this mean? Because I'm responding to everybody, saying, thanks for listening. Thank you, whatever. That one comment, no one asked you to do this. You can probably still find it if you go check out that video. And then I started to think about, there's 2 ways there's 2 things this could mean. It could mean, one, nobody asked you to do this, buddy. Like, nobody, right? Like, why are you doing this, right? The other option is, wow, no one asked you to do this. This is so cool. Like, there's 2 completely different ways, but that's the problem with comments sometimes. Like, it's just so in the middle. I don't know.
Did you reply to it?
I can't remember. Somebody has to go look and see. I can't remember. I don't think I did because I didn't know how to react to it. But I've made a joke, and I've said this numerous times online. You can, if you're a fan of what I do in other places, you probably heard me say it before. But once I get, I think I said just 10,000 subscribers. If I get to 10,000 subscribers, I'm over halfway there. Then I'll call out that comment 10 years later and make a song called "No One Asked You to Do This." So 5,000 subs, bring them my way, and I'll make that song finally responding to that comment multiple years later.
Oh wow!
So because look how far I've come now. No one asked me to do it, but here I am. Something like that. So it'll be fun.
Funny.
So that's kind of off from Disney Channel, but I did do a Disney Channel medley.
Yeah, that was one of your most popular ones.
It's up there, yeah. The Disney ones are huge. Specifically, Disney Junior and Playhouse Disney. Those are really big. So, let's jump on in here.
You're ready?
So
to make a splash?
To make a splash. You're watching Disney Channel. Remember doing all that stuff?
Yeah.
It
was always so awkward.
Did you thought, I never thought it was awkward at the time.
Oh.
You did?
Yeah.
So you were 10 going, that's awkward that they're drawing a Mickey Mouse ears in the corner of the screen. That's awkward.
It embarrassed me though, because they had I was embarrassed for them.
Are you sure you're not thinking more modern?
No, I'm 100% sure.
Hindsight?
No, I'm 100% sure because I thought those kids jumping and doing yes, in the background. No, that's a movie when you get ready for a movie.
Right, and I've covered that song too in my channel. Let's watch a Disney Channel movie.
No, I thought about it because they have to smile and say that script, and I thought about it, and I was like, how awkward would that be to have to say that? And they all have to stand there in the same studio, all these different people, and do the same motion and say the same thing. It's just weird.
I guess you had the foresight that I didn't, because I haven't thought about that until like recent years when I think about, I've seen like videos about it and like just these behind the scenes videos and how like uncomfortable they look doing it. It's just awkward because they don't know how to draw it.
Yeah.
If you actually trace, there's memes, you can see a meme about it where like they trace it. You're watching Disney Channel and like it doesn't match at all. Those are kind of funny.
Yeah.
But Disney Channel, big part of my childhood for an era, and it sounds like for yours too.
Yeah.
You and I haven't talked much about this.
I watched Disney Channel more than I watched like Cartoon Network or
Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
So what age would you say you were roughly when you got into it and when you dipped out? Roughly.
Probably through elementary school. So it's maybe 2nd to 5th grade or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't watch a whole lot of it in middle school.
What'd you start watching in middle school?
I don't remember.
Because middle school, like, you start off like and you're like 12.
Yeah. I don't remember. I think I started watching more Cartoon Network stuff.
Oh.
Maybe.
Like Foster's? I know you like Foster's.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
Yeah. Them. Yeah. I think I just got into more of that. Disney, because the shows on Disney Channel started getting, it almost felt too young. Like, I felt like I was too old.
I think you're off by a few years.
No. When I was looking at my list, the TV shows that came on started coming on in like around 2010. I had no idea what they were.
Well, yeah, in 2010, you were in high school.
Oh.
You were a junior.
Yeah, I was.
Or like a freshman or something.
Okay, then maybe 7th grade I stopped.
Okay,
watching.
That makes more sense to me because that's roughly I was too, about 7th grade.
Okay.
Because I know at least 1 or 2 shows that are going to be on your list, and they are like during your middle school years. That's why I got confused.
I know, but yeah.
The timeline's
I
weird.
Miscalculated my school years.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yes. So probably like I'd say like 2nd to like maybe 7th grade.
Okay.
That time frame.
I would say probably the same for me.
Okay.
No, my trajectory was a little different because I didn't start with Disney Channel. I kind of ended with Disney Channel.
Oh.
So, kind of. So what I did was I was a Nickelodeon kid. For me, it was Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network was 2nd place, and then Disney Channel. But then after a while, Cartoon Network dipped out for me.
No.
And then I went to Disney Channel. No, this is earlier than what you're talking about, though.
Oh, okay.
So by the time you were getting into Cartoon Network, I was again, too.
Oh,
I'm just saying it kind of bounced around. Nickelodeon was always a constant for me, though, for a long time, because I loved SpongeBob for so long and all that.
I feel like it was for me, too, but it was not... It was like in between. Like if there was something not on Disney or Cartoon Network, then it would be... But like Nickelodeon, like the late night shows, like...
Nick at Night.
Yeah, those shows I watched more than...
George Lopez, man. Great show. I loved that show.
Yeah. And
I'd love to rewatch
The Nanny.
That. Oh, man.
I love
that
show.
Nanny. So, she was working as a... Love that show.
Yeah. Okay, but we're here to talk about Disney.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay, so... Disney. I would say when it did take the place for me... Like, in my heart, it took number 1 for a while, though. So during that era, I was watching that more than anything because I felt more adult, ironically enough, because it was live action, most of it was. There's some cartoon stuff. But during that era, there was a lot more live action that I watched.
I understand that. I feel like even the live action stuff was just really sort of silly.
We're talking about a different era. You're talking about, like, probably 2010.
No, I'm talking about when I started getting out of it, like 6th, 7th grade. Middle school time frame.
I know, but I'm talking about like the peak of when I was into it. We're not on the same page at all.
Okay.
The timeline. I'm saying the peak of it, like, yeah, it's all the zany kid shows. But what I'm saying is, like, I felt like a kid, but I felt like I was watching something that was more up to snuff with my adult standards as a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old. Just because it wasn't a cartoon anymore.
That makes sense.
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, that makes sense.
Loved it. And then, yeah, I would say... About 2010 was the same thing, but I still was familiar with it because I had siblings who were still watching it, 5 and 7 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Which is a totally different age bracket. So, and if I were to be honest with you, I just feel like the live action Disney shows, I peeked at them still because of the nature of what I do on YouTube. They just don't seem to capture it like they used to. And I know I'm just an old man talking, right? I'm just old and remembering the good old days, but it just feels like it's come and gone.
Well, it's different.
Heyday of Disney Channel.
I think it's different now.
Anyway, we would love to know while we're going through our top 5s. Tell us your top 5 Disney Channel shows, or just 1 or 2 of them, at the 2 Piece Pod on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. If you're a Facebook user, we're on Facebook.
Yeah.
Forgot to say that we're on Facebook now.
That's
so
new.
Go give us some love there.
All right.
So you're first.
Yeah. Yes, I'll kick it off with our number 5.
All right, let's hear it.
My number 5. Okay, you said earlier that you thought you knew some that were on my list.
Yeah.
Can you tell me right now what you think they are? And then let's see if they're on there as we go through.
I think Raven's on your list. I think not Sunny with a Chance. I think Good Luck Charlie's on your list. There's another one I'm not thinking of. Oh, and Phil of the Future's on your list.
Okay.
Because you had a crush on Ricky Ullman.
Shh.
Sorry.
You're not supposed to know that.
I'm not supposed to know everything about my person. I'm so sorry.
No, okay. So we'll see. Let's see if those are on the list.
Just like last episode.
Don't spit your schnapps out of your nose.
Just like the last episode when I guessed your number 1 and you're like, I guess we'll see.
Well, some of those are wrong.
Okay, fine. Well, let's hear it.
So we'll just see what is right and what is wrong.
Right.
Or if anything's right. My number 5 is Sister Sister.
Sister. I forgot about Sister Sister. Go on.
That's not my problem. You are
Was that Disney?
responsible. Yes, that was Disney.
Or was that like ABC?
No, that was Disney. Tia and Tamara.
Oh my gosh, go on.
Yeah, Sister Sister. I'm sorry, not Scissor Sister, but Sister Sister.
Very different. Yeah. Careful.
So that ran from 1994 to 1999.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's like when they were making, like new shows. It stayed on Disney Channel though longer than that.
I think that was technically before Disney Channel was Disney Channel too. I don't think Disney Channel was Disney Channel yet.
Yeah, it was.
But it was Disney's network. I'm pretty sure. I don't have that.
Yes,
data.
it was on Disney.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what part of that you don't believe.
Okay.
You're gonna Google it now.
Yes, I'm gonna Google it.
It was on Disney.
Okay, I'm listening. Just go for it. Give us your info.
I don't remember a lot of it right now, but because I haven't watched it in a really long time. But I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I loved their mom. And even now, like whenever she's on anything as an actress, which I forget, she's been in some movies and some shows I've seen, but I get so excited because I just think she's the best.
Yeah, she's still in stuff, and that's just like 30 years later.
Yeah. And then there was a guy that reminded me of Urkel that like was their neighbor and came over and bothered them.
Roger,
yeah.
Go home, Roger.
Yeah.
God, I loved Sister Sister
I know,
so much.
it was great. I liked that they were sisters and they were twins and you had that sisterly relationship and they were the same age, but it wasn't like...
And they were like best friends too.
Yeah, it wasn't like the stuff you see with the older sister arguing with the younger sister and like there's so much drama. It's just they were friends. They had their moments, but they were friends. And like, I don't know, the dynamic of the whole thing was fun. So anyway, what did you find?
Go on, just read your facts and stuff. That's okay.
What did you find? That it was on Disney?
It was not on Disney.
Yes, it was.
No, it was rerun on Disney when Disney Channel became a thing. It was on ABC, like I thought. Which is why,
okay.
which is why,
like I thought.
But let me explain something. I have something that's a cheat on my list as well.
Okay, well, it counts still.
So it's okay. I'm not judging here.
You better not.
I watched it on Disney Channel myself.
I know.
As a rerun later.
Me too. Me too. Okay. Well, thanks for proving me wrong.
You're welcome.
Okay. So I have
What's the facts?
I have some fun facts about some trivia facts about Sister Sister. So the twins' real life brother, Taj Mowry, guest starred in 3 different episodes, each time as a different character.
That's neat.
Yeah.
I would have to see what they look like.
Yeah, I don't.
It's been so long.
I guess he wasn't Roger, because Roger was a consistent
No,
character.
Excuse me. Sorry.
At the beginning of the show's run, a beauty mark was drawn on Tia's cheek to match the one naturally on Tamara's cheek.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would they do that? Like, you're
to
already
make
twins.
them more alike.
Was that it? Is this the end of the podcast? Is that the end?
No, I'm scrolling down my facts list. Oh, all of my facts tonight are from IMDb.com.
Say it like you've been there before. I am DB.
IMDb. Well, I didn't want to. I'm having a hard time pronouncing things tonight, and so I didn't want to talk too fast and then
Yeah, you're all over the place tonight.
mix it up. So, okay, my last fact of the night for Sister Sister is that the living room and kitchen sets in Sister Sister are the same that are used in The Nanny.
Oh, I can kind of see it, actually.
Yeah.
I can picture it in my head because I watch both those shows so much.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because all those shows were in the same lot or whatever they call them, right?
Yeah.
They're all like in the same place. There's other examples of that too that I can't think of, but that's really cool.
Yeah.
Sister Sister, man. What I loved about Sister Sister, it's one of those shows where the show grew up with them. So I
Yeah.
remember at the beginning, it was, Sister, Sister. And they're like dancing around and it's like a kid's show. And then as they got older, the show got older
Yeah.
too. Remember that?
Yeah,
And then
I
like
do.
it got into like this R&B, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I got my own mind, got my own style and my own time. It got more like legit, which I like too.
Yeah.
As they grew up. So
Because we grew too. We
'Cause
grew up
we
too.
grew
So
with
it
the
just
show.
stayed consistent with what we were looking for.
which not shows don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So it's, well, I can't say no one does, but that was a thing then, and I loved that. I can think of a couple other shows that do the same thing, so that's really cool. Great, number 5. I didn't think about that. I mean, because I was looking at specifically Disney Channel original shows. However, don't feel bad because I have something that was also on ABC. There's my
Okay.
hint.
Okay.
But here's a little fun fact if you didn't know. ABC owns Disney.
So it does count.
So
Sitting
technically,
over there,
or
over
sorry,
the-
sorry, Disney owns
Owns
ABC.
ABC, but sitting over there acting like, well, that's okay. Don't feel bad.
Listen, we're here to give them the cold hard facts too, Steph.
It
We need to
counts.
make sure. I almost got you to smile there, almost, but you did. She's like, I'm not going to smile at him.
No, I'm too mad.
My number 5
Yeah,
favorite Disney
what's
Channel
yours?
show. I can almost guarantee you've never seen.
You're probably right.
Running from 1998 to 2001 was Bug Juice.
I drank the juice that was called bug juice, but I don't.
I think that, I mean, that's kind of why it's called that, because of the drink.
It made
So-
me think of Beetlejuice, which is the Addams Family, isn't it? Or is that something else?
Beetlejuice, that was the movie
Oh. See,
from the 80s.
Okay.
Great movie.
So there you go.
There's the extent of her knowledge.
So no, I've not watched it.
So I'm not surprised by this because I think it's a show that a lot of people missed out on. Bug Juice. So it was a Disney Channel reality show.
Sounds gross.
No,
Like you
it's,
smush a bug.
no. Listen, it's just called Bug Juice. There's a fun theme song. Basically, what Bug Juice is, it's a reality show that follows kids at summer camp, and it like
Oh.
tells their stories.
Okay.
My mom, shout out to Mom, love you, Mom. She got me into that show. I'm assuming it was reruns on TV because if this ran from 98 to 2001, I guess I could have been watching it. But I think it was reruns when I saw it. And I really liked it. I'm thinking, oh, this is cool. It was like my first exposure to reality TV, but it was like Disney, so it was clean and it was
Yeah.
for kids.
Yeah.
Don't remember much about it. There's not a lot of information about it because it wasn't a popular show, so I don't have any
Oh.
facts.
You don't have any facts?
Mm-mm. The only thing I had is that they tried to reboot it in 2018 and it didn't work.
Mm. Kids are different now.
Yeah, summer camp. Do kids still go to summer camp? Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure these kids, to my knowledge, they went to summer camp. Like they didn't go home at night.
I don't
They
know.
went to summer camp.
I don't know how things are now.
Because when I think of summer camp, I think of that and I think of like Parent Trap.
Oh yeah,
with
yeah.
The 90s one where
Gosh,
like they go to summer camp.
Thank goodness my parents never sent me to anything like that. I would have been so scared and miserable the entire freaking time.
I had an irrational fear that I was going to be sent off to summer camp because my parents would think it'd be fun for me.
Did you really?
Yes. I was so nervous about it.
Did you talk to them about it?
I don't know if they'll know because they always call me out if I get information wrong about my childhood.
Okay, I want to know if you talked to them about it and what
I doubt
they.
it. I think it was irrational because I never asked them. Like I was
Well, you
just
probably
so afraid.
didn't want to ask them. You didn't want to bring it up because then you thought if I bring it up, then
Right.
they'll start thinking about it if they haven't already.
I think I did. I think once again, my folks will correct me if I'm wrong. I think I did for like 1 week. I did like a go there for a day thing and come back
Well,
home.
I've done stuff. I did stuff like that all the
I
time.
remember being really nervous about that too.
Yeah,
God.
I know. I hated those. Or the after school programs that I would go
Yeah.
to. I hated those. I always got hurt.
You always got hurt. Like your
Yeah.
heart or your body?
No, like one time I got hit in the face with a football.
So you got really hurt.
Yeah. So they just weren't. They weren't fun for
football.
me. They weren't fun for me. No,
Yeah.
I was sitting. The little nerdy girl that I was sitting in the gym because we had to be in the gym, and I was sitting against the wall with my legs crossed, and I was reading my book.
Like a nerdy girl would.
And some stupid little boy threw a football, and it hit me in the face.
He probably liked you.
Well, I don't remember what he looked like.
You
I
didn't
never
like
spoke
it?
to him. I threw it real hard back at him, and it probably was the suckiest throw ever, but I was so mad. And then I went outside. I remember what book I was reading. I was reading a book about this girl that turns into a mermaid.
So
Because then I
sounds
went
like
and sat by the pool and imagined if I was that girl.
oh, that's sweet. So
Yeah.
it sounds like
I was in elementary school. Just
it
so
sounds
you
like
know.
his intentions to get your attention did not work in the way that he wanted. He liked you. I guarantee
think it was an accident, I think.
I don't know. He probably even if it was when you're a little boy, it's like it was an accident. Oh wait, she's a girl. I like her now. You know, and then you go, hey, and then you throw a football at him, and then go dream about being a mermaid somewhere.
Yeah.
You've got other priorities.
Yeah, I did.
Trust me, guys, she still does. So anyway, Bug Juice, it romanticized that idea for me, and I was able to enjoy summer camp from afar.
Well, that's good.
I'd like to rewatch it just to see if it holds up at all, because my mom knew about it. So I'm wondering, at that time, she would have been in her, I guess, early 30s. So I'm wondering if, like, I'm close to my early 30s, so I'm wondering if I would like it just as some sort of wholesome show as an adult, or do you need to be a parent? I don't know.
I don't know either.
So that's my number 5. What's your number 4?
Well,
Unless you have, sorry.
no, I don't really have anything to say because I don't really know much about it, but that was a good, that sparked a good conversation.
Thanks. Are we just critiquing the podcast
Yeah.
as we're live?
Yeah. Yeah. My number 4 is Phil of the Future.
Phil of the future. Go ahead, because Phil of the future is my number 4 too.
Is it really?
Yep. Take it away.
Okay. Well, let's see if our dates are the same. It ran from 2004 to 2006.
Yep.
Okay. And
Not that long.
no, I know, and I was so sad when they ended it.
Speaking of learning things here on the show, I know exactly why, and I'll explain that at the end.
Okay. I'm excited to know.
Something to look forward to, everybody.
Yeah. So I liked it because I liked
Him.
Yeah, he was cute.
Turned out a lot of girls thought he was cute.
Yeah, he had a cute
Like talking
face.
to friends that are girls
Yeah.
now, when we talk about old shows, they go, man, the guy from Phil of the Future, he was cute.
Yeah, he was cute.
So apparently a lot of
But-
girls liked him.
But looking back now, like looking at the poster, for it, like he's not.
Not that cute.
No, he's not that cute.
Well, I had a crush on the girl.
Allie? That's her name.
I think her name was Keely. in the
Yeah, but
show.
her real name is Allie.
Well, I knew her as Keely. Thank you very much.
Keely. Well,
Which is weird because usually,
I always thought she was very pretty.
yeah, me too.
I always thought she was very pretty. So, and
Look at-
her and her sister, Allie and AJ, they
Oh, that's her
sing.
sister?
Yeah, they're sisters, and they sing. They have,
Yeah, Allie and AJ.
yeah,
But this is about Phil of the
they
Future.
have music. Anyway, yeah. But I watched it because he was cute, and also I liked, I thought she was really cute, and I was all for their romance.
Will they? Won't they? Yeah.
Yeah, 100% for it. But anyway, I don't know. I thought it was cool. Like I was always excited to see what kind of gadgets they were going to introduce, and I just thought it was a cool thing that to be from the future.
Yeah. So what's it about for those who may not know what the show is?
Well, him and his family, Phil and his family are from 2121,
21. Yep.
and they get stuck in, I think it's 2004.
Yeah, because that's when the show came out.
Yeah, and they basically just try to fit in.
Blend in into
Yeah.
modern society as they know it.
And his relationship with Keely on the show, right? He if I remember correctly, he tries to keep her from finding out he's from the future, but he can do all these cool things, and he does stuff to make her life easier and stuff. And then,
Yep.
but then she questions him, and he has to act oh, I don't know, blah blah blah, or make up excuses. And then I think finally she finds out at the end. I think towards the end,
Mhm.
doesn't she?
She has to. I can't remember.
I think she does find out something at the end. And there's probably a whole big scene where she doesn't believe him, and then they like make up. Anyway. Yeah. So some fun and interesting trivia facts about it. Let's see which one do I want to talk about. In the original script, Phil was meant to be a 12-year-old. But he was in high school, wasn't he, in the show?
Mm-hmm.
So he was a lot older in the show. Disney Channel president Gary Marsh was quoted as saying, "Greenlighting Phil of the Future, quote, was one of the biggest mistakes that the channel's ever made."
Why?
End quote. I don't know.
Was it not a success? You didn't look into why he said that? You just know that he said it.
Well, no, the series was canceled, but I don't want to mess up your fact.
Are you reading it right now?
Yeah, I'll let you tell that fact.
Oh, I thought you didn't know.
No, I don't. I don't know. It's on the list. I didn't read that one ahead of time, though. So Ashley Tisdale, Sarah Paxton, and Brittany Snow were all considered for the role of Keeley.
Did not know that either.
Yeah.
I love like the moments of silence where no one's talking and you're like trying to find what you're going to read next.
Well, there's a list of like 20 things.
You see, here's the difference, folks. I take my notes and I curate them and I break them down in my notes. So I'm just ready to go.
Okay. Well, good for you. Can I have one more?
Oh, stop. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Okay. Well, okay. I understand, but I'm like really looking at this fact. So you can give me a hard time all you want, but it's like the football in the face thing. I don't care. I'm going to go dream about being a mermaid.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Okay. So in the original show concept, Barbara Diffie, which I don't know who.
That's the mom.
The mom. Okay. I was like, I don't know who that was going to have a detachable head in a robotic body, which is why the character is wearing chokers and turtlenecks throughout the first season to cover up where her head was supposed to detach.
Right.
However, all scenes of this idea were cut out during the episodes when they aired, despite clips being included in some of the early advertisements. So this was because Disney was concerned that people may possibly compare it to the Iraq beheading videos, which were popularized in 2004.
Right.
So
that part isn't like confirmed, but that's just what people are speculating.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because in the promos, or like there's one promo where you can see that happening. So that's the entire season. So they wrote those scenes in there, but then they cut them out later.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting. The only other thing that I had added to that for another fact about Phil of the Future was the high school that he attends, Phil, is H.G. Wells High School. Do you know why that's kind of significant? H.G. Wells is a famous author who wrote the famous book Time Machine.
Ah.
Which is a nice, easy, simple, and short read, which I do recommend it. The Time Machine. I love that story.
Maybe
so anyway,
I'll check it out. So why was it canceled? Are you going to tell us that?
Well, I will say that, but I guess I can save what I'm going to say about it for the end, for my experience with Phil of the Future.
Yeah, okay.
Because we went to the facts in the middle of it. So, this is a great thing that I wanted to share, and I thought it was interesting, and I learned this doing my research for Medleys. Phil of the Future might have been canceled for other reasons, but there's no possible way that show had over 65 episodes. So there's something that Disney had called the 65 episode rule. And this, by the way, this is from memory. You can look this up. This isn't a source I'm citing here. So the 65 episode rule was something that Disney had in place for the late 90s and the early 2000s, where any show, regardless of how successful it was, could only go for 65 episodes, 2 to 3 seasons, depending on the show that it is.
Why, I wonder?
I can't remember why that was. I don't know. Maybe it was just some sort of, they always had 2 to 3 year contracts with all these shows and these actors and actresses. However,
interesting. Maybe because they were like kids.
Would you like to know? Here's a little fact. Would you like to know the first show that was finally allowed to break the rule?
What was it?
Kim Possible.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. What a show. That show is deserving of that. So then after that, there's other shows like That's So Raven and everything that also started. I think That's So Raven was the first live action show to do it.
Extended.
Because That's So Raven was like a cultural phenomenon when that came out. That show was huge.
That's So Raven came out before Phil of the Future. Yeah, That's So Raven was 2003 to 2007.
Right.
Phil the Future was 2004 to 2006.
I know.
Yeah.
But That's So Raven might have started before.
Oh, so they like broke that rule right
During the
before,
show.
during,
Yeah.
but they didn't break it for Phil the Future, but they broke it for That's So Raven.
And Kim Possible, which I
And Kim
think was in
Possible.
2005.
Okay.
So then after that, it was all downhill from there. You got me going, wait a second, did I say something wrong? God forbid I say something
Yeah,
wrong.
that's exactly what I was about to
I knew
say.
I had to beat you to it.
That's
Look,
exactly what I was about
I'm the
to
nostalgic TV show guy, okay?
say.
Let me have this. I'm just kidding. I hope I'm not coming off as a butthole. I'm not trying to.
No, you're not.
So I guess we both kind of talked about it. I will briefly share this too, since we both shared a number 4. I loved Phil the Future for kind of different reasons. Like, I liked them. I didn't really want them to be together because I wanted to be with her. Right, so I didn't want them to be together.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I did like their story, but I loved the zany humor.
Yeah.
So Phil the Future was one of the more zany shows. It was also a single camera show. So, meaning that there was no laugh track. It was single camera shot. So there was no laugh track in the background. Most of these shows did, like Sister Sister, that had a laugh track, right? And it kind of reminded me of my favorite comedy show, which is Scrubs, right? In a similar way. No laugh track, super weird, absurd, zany humor. Because remember, there was the really weird principal.
Yeah.
And then there was the caveman that accidentally got stuck in the time machine with him or whatever.
Yeah.
The Bunga Wunga, who, by the way, was played by the principal, same guy. And I just remember thinking it was so goofy and outlandish and funny. And I have one particular scene, though, in my head that has never left. And it was the one where they're barefoot, him and Keely, and they're at the school event or something, and they're making grape juice, quote unquote, but they're like stepping on grapes, like in these giant tubs, right? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I remember that, yeah.
And then, I don't know if she already knew by this point or not about him, but he only has 4 toes. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
So, and every episode, I think the whole thing, I'm assuming, it's been a long time, everybody, but I think it was like somebody almost finds out that he's from the future and he has to cover it up, right?
Yeah.
But, so he said, so I think Keely maybe saw it. She's like, you only have 4 toes. She said, well, yeah, I only have 4 toes because they've become so useless. Over time, we've evolved out of having a pinky toe. And I remember in my head at the time thinking, this is brilliant. It's right. My pinky toe is useless. My pinky toe hides under, like, it's facing the sole of my foot. I don't need a pinky toe. So I thought, this is going to happen. We will slowly adapt out of pinky toes. Anyway.
You need it for balance.
That's what they say. That's what they say. Need it for
Oh my
balance.
gosh.
He didn't. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't think that really was realistic.
You don't know that.
He had 5 toes.
He had 4 toes.
He had 5 toes in real life.
Oh, I'm thinking, Steph, did you not hear the story?
In real life, he had 5 toes.
All right, enough about that.
I'm glad that was we had a matching number 4.
Who knows? You might have more, but I have a feeling my number 3 won't match yours. But I think you're first, right?
Yeah.
Because I went after you. Yeah.
So my number 3 is one that I cannot believe you didn't say. Lizzie McGuire.
Oh, great show. Yeah.
That's
Didn't
my
even think
number
about
3.
Lizzie McGuire.
Lizzie McGuire ran for it's from 2001 to 2004. And I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the TV show. Because everybody knows, like, the Lizzie McGuire movie, but I don't know if everybody... I know it was popular, but there was also the TV show.
Yeah, the movie was huge.
Yeah. It was much bigger than the TV show.
I loved the movie more than the show, but I did watch the show as well. Because I thought it was really cool that she had her little, like, cartoon version of her. Like, I thought that was such a cool idea.
Yeah, I know. I liked it, too. I liked the movie a lot because she sang. And at that age when I was watching, I was interested in those things. I was like, I was really interested in, like, I really wish I could sing. Like, I wish that I could be a famous singer.
This is what dreams are made of.
You know? Yeah. And so I thought it was really cool that, like, what a vacation to go on. Anyway, we can't talk about the movie. This is about the TV show. Okay.
Good save.
Yeah. This is about the TV show. So I really liked it for those reasons, too. I just really I identified with it at the age that I was, and I thought it was funny and it was cute, and I liked that she was a little bit awkward because I felt like I was a little bit awkward. I don't know. It was cute. And then her and like Gordon had that little bit of you weren't quite sure. It was almost a romance thing, but they were friends and like
He was the curly head kid,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So I don't know. That was kind of just fun, but also at that age, you're like just starting, I think, to think about that stuff. And so that was interesting that they played it off really well. Like the majority of the time they were friends, but they had little moments that were kind of sort of like, oh, maybe he likes her a little bit.
Right. I remember that show being less zany like Phil of the Future. It was a little more grounded in reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was still funny.
Yeah.
But it was a little more... I'm not saying they're the same show, but I put it closer to a category as like... It's like in between Phil of the Future and Zoe 101. Like, I know that's a weird example, but I'm saying like
really
Zoe...
weird.
What I brought that up because that show got kind of serious for a kid show.
Yeah.
But like, not Hannah Montana, what's it called? Lizzie McGuire didn't get that serious, but it still stayed more grounded in reality and just kind of sat pretty in the middle there. But it was still goofy too.
Yeah.
That's all I was trying to say. Bad comparison.
I liked it. I love Hilary Duff.
She's awesome still today. She's one of the few that made it. By made it, I mean isn't crazy. The few like child stars that actually is like she's a mom. She's rocking it. I think it's great.
Yeah, I agree.
Like a good mom from what I see.
All right, so a couple of facts about Hilary Duff. So Hilary Duff, there's a rumor that Hilary Duff almost quit 1 week before auditions. Like she, I guess, almost didn't audition.
Interesting. Nerves or something, maybe?
Maybe. Okay, so here's Sarah Paxton again. She was considered for the role of Lizzie before Hilary Duff auditioned. Paxton made a guest cameo in Lizzie McGuire. It was in the episode called Election in 2001, also known as Lizzie for President.
I'm going to look up Sarah Paxton.
I know. Show me a picture if you find it, please. The original name of the show was What's Lizzie Thinking? As seen on some of the earlier episodes' blooper reels. Did you know that?
No. This is Sarah Paxton. This is where everybody else looks her up to. She does not look familiar to me.
Yeah, she does to me.
35 years old. That makes sense for the time frame.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so those are my facts.
I didn't know if you had more facts. I saw you still reading.
I have a whole list, but I think we'll call it there.
Okay. Yeah, you got the whole webpage loaded up, ready to go.
Ready to go.
That's how she does
it. That is how I do it. It's how I feel in the moment. What facts do I feel are interesting in the moment?
Oh, that scares me to think about for me, but if it works for you, that's good.
It does.
So love Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah. Love
the movie. Like I said, I didn't watch the show as much. I just remember thinking, even as a kid, maybe video stuff was always my calling. I don't know, because when I was a kid, I remember thinking, how do they do that? How'd they put a cartoon with real people?
No, I thought that too.
I was like, this is crazy.
I thought that too.
I thought the same thing when I saw like Who Framed Roger Rabbit for the first time. Like all these, you haven't seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Steph. I'm going to give you a hard time, but does that sound familiar to you, Roger Rabbit?
Roger Rabbit does, yeah. Was that on Disney?
No, This had a lot more adult stuff in it. I mean, it wasn't like it was like a adult / kid movie. It was like
did it have that?
This came out in the 80s.
Did it have that cartoon lady in that red dress where she has a lot of cleavage?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's
she was very sexualized. Yes.
Okay. Then I know of it.
I need to watch it again because it's been so long. But anyway, that was the first feature film to do that.
Okay.
But that stuff always was really cool to me, and that did it. I thought that was cool. And I also, there's going to be a trend here. I had a crush on Hilary Duff.
Oh my gosh.
Because of course I did, right? I had a crush on every girl on Disney when I was young, when I was a kid. But that's all I really have to say. I never liked the curly-headed kid. I could take it or leave it with him.
Really?
Yeah, never.
I didn't have a crush on him like I did Phil the Future.
Yeah, I understand that.
But he was a nice kid.
He was, you know him personally?
Yeah, he was a nice
good kid.
Yeah. So what's your number 3?
My number 3, and I bet you this one was not on your list, but you know the show. It's Even Stevens.
You know, I do know the show, and it didn't make my list, but I considered it.
Okay, so honorable mention for you.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds like. So Even Stevens ran from 2000 to 2003. I don't have any like description of the show, but I mean I can kind of remember it. This was basically one of those classic Disney shows where it's kind of a wild time for Disney in general, but it was just a show. It was kind of like a coming of age show. Not even really coming of age. It just follows this family with this crazy kid, and he's got crazy friends, and he always has these kind of inner battles with his older sister. That's kind of their whole thing. And then I think he's got a brother too, like an older brother.
There was an older brother, and then the sister, and then the little boy. And he got on my last nerve.
Beans?
Yeah, Beans.
Beans wasn't in the family. He was like the annoying neighbor kid.
No.
I promise. Yes. He was the neighbor kid. They would come like wreak havoc with
I thought he was in the family from
No.
what I remember.
with Shia LaBeouf's character. Was I'm assuming his name is Steven. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Um,
And the girl, I think her name is Christine. She's the voice of Kim Possible.
Kim Possible. That's correct.
Yeah.
They have like a podcast now too. Like they talk about the show
Yeah, I
or
saw
whatever,
that.
which is cool. If I were like a diehard, like still a diehard fan, I'd definitely listen to that. There's just too many podcasts these days. Whoever has
As we were on a podcast.
whoever has the gall to make a podcast these days in such a competitive space needs to quit.
It's too much.
It's too many podcasts, as we say on our podcast. So you can see how we feel about ourselves. I'm just kidding. No, I loved that show at the time. I don't remember very much now, funny enough.
I remember more about the movie.
Where they're stranded on the island.
Uh-huh.
That movie was awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
It was such a big event when Disney's shows did movies.
Yeah.
Like, here's the special event. They're going to the island. Because remember, they all like started to fight with each other, and they were all like, the family was breaking up, and then they all got together at the end, I guess. Great show. Also had a crush on the sister.
Of course you did.
I told you there's a theme here. I have a couple things to share about Even Stevens. Even Stevens is one of those shows where you just kind of had to watch it to get it, because he was a weirdo goofball and like a troublemaker. However, Shia LaBeouf was too. So, in real life, this is from IMDb. He was known for being a troublemaker offset as well. In fact, at early ages, he was already doing drugs.
Oh.
Like 12, 13, he was already getting into drugs.
Oh my gosh.
And he separated from his parents at 15. This is during the show. So he like emancipated at 15.
Wow.
And there's a few other things too. Oh, another thing that he used to do as well is he would streak on set.
Oh my gosh.
He was a wild card. And creators of the show explained that was one reason why they wanted him, because that was the kind of that was the unhinged version of the character that's on Even Stevens, just unhinged. They made it, they Disneyfied it.
Yeah.
But they wanted that wild card troublemaking kid because that's the character he played. He always got into trouble. So Shia LaBeouf, people who think he got weird later, he's always been pretty crazy, even when he was a kid.
Yeah.
So
I know, because he was in Transformers. He was in Holes and Transformers, right?
he was in other stuff too, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he was in those. And then during that time, though, I think that's when you heard in like the tabloids that he was being crazy.
Yeah, Transformers was huge when that came out. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
Holes was not nearly as big, but a great movie.
Yeah.
I want to read that book. So anyway, that's Even Stevens.
Oh. Well, I remembered it, but I didn't make my list because I didn't remember enough of the show. So I was like, I didn't make enough of an impression. But like I remembered of the show.
Right. I get you.
So
I remember thinking Beans was funny too, because Beans was just such
I didn't like Beans.
an ugly little kid.
I didn't like
Poor
it.
thing.
I didn't like him.
You should look up Beans now. He looks the same, but 40. It's hilarious and
Okay.
kind of sad.
Oh, I'll look it up.
Oh, I'll look it up.
I'll look it up.
Steph, when she says that, she's like the parent who's like hoping her kid will forget that they want ice cream. Can we get ice cream? Maybe later.
That's 100%.
He does it.
100% right.
I know. I know how you treat me.
I'll look it up if it actually means that much to you.
No,
I'll
it
look
doesn't.
it
It's
up.
fine. I'll look it up by myself and just giggle on my own.
Or just look it up and show me.
Everybody look it up now. Look up Beans right now.
The character, not the...
Just you can just, well, who else is called Beans in Hollywood?
Vegetable. Beans. You just Google beans, you'll get like refried beans or black beans.
He popped up. Probably because I've looked them up before.
Probably. All right.
Okay, Beans. Yeah, Beans Even Stevens now.
You're going to show me? How sweet. Oh my gosh.
He looks like Beans, but 40.
Yeah, he does.
Because this was, well, I don't know. I can't, it's okay. I don't want to.
Oh my gosh.
There he is then.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy that
Some people just look
I know we're growing up, but it's crazy that you look at these actors and like they're older now, and it's like, oh my gosh,
I know, it's
it's
crazy.
like how much time has gone by.
Mm-hmm. All right, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Phineas and Ferb.
I forgot about Phineas and Ferb. I don't know why. I know why, but go on. Great show.
I love Phineas and Ferb. So it's still on, but it was started in 2007.
It's still on now?
Yeah, it's still
Wow.
on. I got into that like when it was a new show on Disney Channel. So that's something that I kind of continued to watch through middle school. Like,
There's your timeline.
I liked it. The girl, she something. She has the black and green.
I'm not super familiar with Phineas and Ferb, so I may be the wrong person to ask. I only know like them
she
and the
didn't.
sister.
She didn't. That was from Kim Possible. There was somebody.
Oh yeah, the villain.
Yeah, but there was a girl villain in Phineas and Ferb, and it reminded me of the villain from Kim Possible.
Okay, well I'm going to take your word for it.
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but I liked, and Ashley Tisdale was the voice of the sister.
She was.
And I really liked the sister a lot. And I thought she was funny. Like
I hated
liked
the sister.
Oh, you did?
We're so different from each other.
I liked her.
I thought she was annoying and always getting in the way.
I thought the boys were annoying and
Well, that's
doing things they shouldn't do. And she was just being the responsible sister.
No, that's right. But I was watching it going, you're ruining all the fun, sis. Right?
That's what older sisters are for.
And you were the older sister going, stop having fun.
Yeah, that's not safe.
This is me and you in a nutshell.
Looked, though, the stuff they were doing was not safe.
I
would
know.
have 100% been.
I'm not defending that.
Sister.
I'm just saying that's fun.
Well, I liked it. I thought the villain guy, he was so dumb that it was so funny. Yeah, it was so funny.
Classic.
He's so dumb. And then the platypus, it's funny that everybody was
name?
like, Perry.
I was going to say, don't just call him the platypus. You got to act like you've seen the show.
Yeah, Perry the platypus.
Perry the platypus.
But everybody was like, what is that?
A lot of people probably learned what a platypus was from that show.
Probably. But anyway, it was so cute. I liked it a lot. I liked all the different, and like each episode was different. I feel like it never felt like Phil in the future. Even you said it's like every show, it's like, oh, somebody almost found out that he was from the future. Like it's the same thing every time. With Phineas the Ferb, I guess it is. It's like, oh, they get into trouble or whatever. But it's like there's something so different about like every single episode.
It's because it's a cartoon, so they don't have to worry about a set.
Yeah.
They can draw them anywhere they want. Yeah. So they're in space or they're anywhere.
Yeah.
They're at a rock concert. It doesn't matter. They do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just really cool. I like the show. Okay. So
you didn't even mention like the Perry the Platypus part. Like he's like a secret agent.
I know. I know. I think it's cool.
There's so much to it. You got like people don't know. Well, people do know.
Yeah, you know. People know
Phineas
and Ferb. But I remember when they were like doing the promos on Disney Channel, and
big deal.
Yeah, and I was like, "What is this show?" I was like, "Oh, it looks sort of stupid." And then I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, this is cute."
Well, it was one of the first cartoons in quite a while. Other than Kim Possible, there really wasn't much for cartoons.
That's true.
It was a bunch of live action shows. So I remember being, I don't want to watch another cartoon. That's when I was at that age. Then I watched it and it was funny.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. All right. Well, here's some trivia for you.
For ya.
So the first drawing of Phineas was on a piece of butcher's paper drawn with a crayon in a restaurant.
When it hits you, it hits you. I totally get that.
Mm-hmm. It's never explained who Ferb's mother is or who Phineas and Candace's father is. Because they're not actually brothers.
Right.
Yeah. So
that is true. That's kind of like an unspoken thing.
But if you look at the shape of the heads compared to the fathers, Phineas looks like his dad's head, but whose head is shaped exactly like Ferb's head?
Doofenshmirtz?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is there there's got to be some conspiracy theorists out there somewhere. On Reddit or something.
But I feel like it happened for a reason.
Weird. Huh. All right, she's reading more.
Let's see, yeah.
Do you usually do it this way? Usually you have your facts ready to go.
Well, look at this list. I mean, this list is
You
ginormous.
take from it and you pull so there's no dead space in the podcast.
Listen, well, usually you talk so much there's no dead space anyway.
I think that was supposed to be a zinger, but it just wasn't.
No, was supposed to be a zinger.
It wasn't.
Do you know that's oh shoot. What?
Go ahead. Add more
I
dead
can't-
space to the
I can't
podcast. Go
think
ahead.
of-
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I can't think of that word. The dessert pastries, and it's called a zinger, and it's like a raspberry thing covered with coconut and filled with cream.
That's great.
Like the
Thanks for sharing.
Like the little Debbie brand. That's what
Mm-hmm.
something of it. It's called a zinger.
Oh,
Those are so good.
I mean, that sounds good.
Yeah. So that's what you get for trying to insult me, and I just
Now go back to reading your facts again. I guess while you're looking at those, I'll explain what I
no,
like about
I
it.
have it. Ferb's large eye changes depending on what direction he's facing. The large one is always the one furthest away from the screen. So sometimes it's on the left, sometimes it's on the right.
Makes complete sense because he's changing directions. I loved Phineas and Ferb. I said I loved it. You know, I kind of went into autopilot there. I caught myself. I didn't love Phineas and Ferb. I went to
mean,
autopilot.
Unless it's on your list, I would say you didn't.
No, I liked it a lot. That was during a time when I started to dip out. I'm 1 year older than you, but I think 1 year at that age makes a big difference. So, like, I was watching it, but my sister was more than I was. However, what got me into it was its humor was good, but the music, it was a musical show.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of songs in it.
Well, Ferb doesn't talk, but he sings.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite songs of all time is Squirrels in My Pants. Because, of course, I got squirrels in my pants. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That girl's got some serious squirrels in her pants. SIMP, squirrels in my pants. It's good. They were so stupid like that. So I always love music stuff, right? So
Yeah.
anyway, fan of that show. I like Doofenshmirtz a lot. I like Perry the Platypus, like their thing that they got going on. So
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah. It's a good show.
I remember the scene where like it's his theme song. And he's like, I can't remember how the song goes now. But one of the words is like, Perry the Platypus, he's on the move, and every time he's around the ladies swoon.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, he makes like his noise, and they go,
oh.
and he's just like a freaking platypus.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, so let's hear your number 2.
We probably should, because these podcasts are going longer than usual lately. We must be putting a lot of dead space in the podcast.
Oh my gosh. It was literally 3 seconds of me looking.
You're
3
the reason why
seconds.
they have the 1.2x button on Spotify to speed up the podcasts. That's why.
Yeah.
You're the reason.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Okay.
Well, you'd be the reason they have the 0.5.
Just slow it down because I talk too fast sometimes.
Yeah, you do. Sometimes, yeah, just like
Sometimes
that. You can't do it now.
if it
huh?
weren't for the schnapps, I could do it, but it's making me a little slurry. All right. My number 2, favorite show. This was a no-brainer for me for the number 2 spot, and you'll know why my number 1 is a no-brainer in a minute. My number 2 was The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Uh-huh.
Loved that show. It ran from 2005 to 2008. So what that means is that it would have ended when I was in 8th grade. So I watched it from 6th grade to 8th grade.
But they had so many spinoffs.
Well, I had one, and it was The Sweet Life on Deck.
Oh. It felt like more.
Well, you know why? Sweet Life on Deck had a new girl introduced who then did Hey Jesse.
Oh.
And then there's always like a crossover character
Oh.
that kept going on. So anyway, but I'm talking about the OG series that
Okay.
started it all, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I remember when this show came out. I'm pretty sure I watched it day one when it premiered. Loved it. Loved the idea. So here's why. Well, first of all, I'll explain what it is. It's about these kids, these twins, and their single mom who is a singer at in a lounge in like a really fancy hotel. That's her job. She's a singer. And they get to live in a hotel because she sings there it must be like a touristy hotel. So a lot of people come by and she'll sing.
Yeah, they didn't really explain that very well, did they?
Well, they probably did, and I just can't remember. But that's what she was, right? I'm pretty sure she was a singer.
Yeah, but I don't think they really filled her backstory out much.
I wonder if we watched it, if there would be lines that we just didn't remember. I don't
Maybe.
know. But anyway, it follows the lives of her kids, the two twins, who get to pretty much experience the benefits of living in like a really fancy schmancy hotel. But they're like booger picking, troublemaking kids. So there's all kinds of things that ensue. There's a funny janitor, Erwin. Arwen or Irwin.
See, I don't remember him.
He had the glasses on. I think you'd remember if you saw him. He was just kind of goofy. There was, of course, London, who was the daughter of the guy who owns the hotels. So she was the little prissy girl that got whatever she wanted. And then you had, I can't remember her name, but Ashley Tisdale's character. She worked at the counter.
Yeah.
I had a crush on her. Did I mention that? I had a huge crush on Ashley Tisdale for a long time. And so anyway, she was there. Random fact, though. Did you know that both those people auditioned for opposite roles?
No.
Ashley Tisdale wanted to play London, and London wanted to play Ashley Tisdale's character.
Well, Ashley Tisdale in High School Musical played more of a
prissy,
London type character, so she did that really well.
But that was before that.
Yeah.
So
I know, that's interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of the setup of the show, just these kids in a hotel, and they have this crazy life. And I remember loving it because so one thing my dad used to do with us, this is where I talk really fast. I can hear myself doing it. My dad used to take us out on weekend trips just to go stay at a hotel in like the next city over, just because we could, with like an indoor swimming pool and stuff. It was just for fun, right? A lot of fun memories doing that.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, what if I lived in a hotel all the time? And then the show did it. Great show. Loved it. I would come home from school and watch it. So this is from eonline.com. Got a couple things to share here. So the creator of the show, Danny Callis, revealed to the New York Times that he and co-creator Jim Gogan actually came up with the concept for the show 20 years prior. They were working on another sitcom at the time, Silver Spoons. So 20 years before they actually had the idea of the show.
Oh, wow.
That's how long it took to come into fruition there.
Wow.
I already shared the thing about Ashley Tisdale and London Tipton. They both auditioned for other roles, but the creators thought, nah, you just belong here. You belong here.
Okay, yeah.
Phil Lewis, he played the angry manager of the hotel.
Uh-huh.
Right? Mr. Mosby.
Yeah.
So here's a little fun thing that I just want to share kind of for me. I already mentioned Scrubs, so this kind of works out. He was in Scrubs, and I know you wouldn't know this. He played a character called Hooch.
Okay.
And there's this ongoing joke. If anyone who's a Scrubs fan, they know Hooch is crazy. They'll know the line. So Dylan and Cole Sprouse were fans of Scrubs because that was on at the same time. Both shows are on at the same time. And what's his name again? Phil Lewis was on Scrubs. So for the final episode of Scrubs, Phil was on set that episode for the final episode, and he brought Dylan and Cole Sprouse along so they could see what it was like to be on the show that they watched, that they loved.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. So that was a sweet show. And then final thing is the Selena Gomez story. Do you know about this?
No, I don't think so.
So Selena Gomez's first kiss was on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Oh, yeah, I know that. When they did a crossover thing with Wizards.
Yeah, it was a crossover show. Yeah. No, it was not a crossover. She was just on the show.
It wasn't a crossover with Wizards of Waverly Place? No.
She just starred on the show. She was on there before Wizards of Waverly Place was on.
Oh.
Anyway, but she had a crush on Cole, but she kissed Dylan. And I can't remember which one is which. But anyway, that was her first kiss, and she was embarrassed that it was on camera.
Aw.
So, love Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I love that one so much that I've actually gone back and seen a few episodes of it just for fun.
Yeah.
When I peeked on your Disney Plus. This was like 3 years ago.
You remember Esteban?
Esteban, that's right. He was the the bag boy.
Yeah.
Or the bellboy.
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 One of the episodes that I remember the most was the one where they tried to call on those spirits, and Esteban got so scared and freaked out. Do you remember that?
That was a funny episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one the most.
I'm trying to think. I remember the one where London's learning how to drive.
Well, that's the Prindle one.
Right.
So that, I
Should we turn on the radio? And then he's like, AM for am or no? Would you want to listen to am or fum? That's what it is. Because she was saying Prindle. Yeah. I ruined that whole thing, but it was funny.
Yeah.
Great show.
Yeah. I like that show a lot too. It didn't make my list, but I did like it a lot. I watched that quite a bit.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's funny because if you watch the earlier episodes versus the later ones, they're kind of like chubby little 10-year-old kids, and then by the end of it, they kind of grew up a little bit and they kind of got more in shape. I mean, I guess they just grew up.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because there's like little chubby things at the beginning. It's funny.
Yeah. Remember they liked Ashley Tisdale, remember? Like as little boys, they had crushes.
I think one of them did.
Oh, one of them had a crush on her.
I think it was Zach. Because Zach was like the more bad boy and Cody was like the more smart one.
Okay.
Remember? Because they both had the
Yeah.
different personalities. Because he
Yeah.
would wear like collared shirts and then
Yeah.
Zach would always wear like flames and guitars.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
Fun show.
That's cute.
Give me your number one, girl.
My number one is Kim Possible.
Kim Possible. I didn't think that was going to be your number one.
That's my number
Great
one.
show.
It ran from 2002 to 2007.
Broke the rule.
Yep. So I liked Kim Possible. I don't remember the name of the villain. She, he, or he, she, or something like that. But she was like green and black, and she had one lip that was green and one lip that was black. Remember? And like her outfit had different
Oh, yeah.
colors and
I
stuff.
remember her. Yeah.
I really liked the symmetry of her outfit and the colors. I was really drawn to that a lot.
To the symmetry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of like things alternated, like with the colors.
yeah.
I don't know. I just really liked that, which sounds sort of silly, but I
No.
liked her like design. But I really liked Kim Possible, and then I wasn't a huge fan of Rufus, the naked mole rat. I didn't care too much
He
about
was
him.
kind of like the comic relief. Or
Yeah,
supposed to
but
be.
I didn't care too much about him.
Did you like Ron?
He was cute, but it's like, get out of her way.
Yeah, Ron was kind of like, I liked Ron because he was kind of like the guy that most guys are. He's kind of the awkward, kind of nerdy, geeky. He was geeky
Yeah.
kind of guy. He liked her, right?
Mm-hmm.
I figured he did. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember that.
I liked Wade. Do you remember Wade?
I do remember Wade, yeah.
On the phone. He was always
Mhm.
on the phone. The tech.
Oh, that's right. He was like the tech guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked him a lot.
Mhm.
Thought he was funny.
Of course you did. You liked the tech guy.
Yeah, I thought he was funny.
You're so different than me. I always say it, but it's so true.
But I really liked all the different like, I don't know, missions she went on and all this stuff. I think it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I liked her outfit a lot. The cargo pants and the black shirt.
Yeah.
All right, so I have some facts that I prepared while you were speaking, so there's no dead space.
Oh, look at this. What? I must look outside. There has to be at least one pig with wings. That was really bad.
There's
Go
some
on.
dead space right there for you.
There's the zinger right there. That was so stupid of me. Oh,
Okay.
pigs flying? Like, no one's ever said that before.
No, you say that to me all the time. So
Yeah, because a lot of the times you'll say things that are out of character, and then I think pigs got to be flying.
Oh my gosh.
Go on.
All right. So Mark McCorkle and Bob Schooley created the show in an elevator. McCorkle looked at Bob and said, "Kim Possible, she can do anything." And Schooley replied, "Her partners are unstoppable. He can't do anything."
That's so beautiful.
Yeah,
I would just want to say this really quick if you don't mind. It's really fast. It's about
I
that.
guess.
That's exactly how Dave and I write with like Camp Nostalgic. Shout out to Camp Nostalgic.
Yeah.
It starts with just a stupid idea. Because those were just two stupid lines they just came up with.
Yeah.
And then it became something.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. That's a beautiful moment. Anyway, go on.
Neil Patrick Harris auditioned for the role of Ron Stoppable.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. But obviously didn't get it.
Yeah, Will Friedle got it. Or Will Friedle. I don't think how
I don't know who played him, though.
you'll know in a minute. Go on.
Oh. Oh.
Go on.
Oh. You just gave away a big secret.
Let people know who he is.
The big sign outside the school changes messages every time it's seen, usually reflecting the current plot.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't catch on to that. All right. And then at the time of its run and even after its conclusion, Kim Possible was the most watched, highly rated, and most beloved television show on Disney Channel until when Phineas and
Ferb.
Yeah.
Come on, girl.
Phineas and Ferb came around. Kim Possible was the most successful Disney show. It was the most...
Wow, so writing these down doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. Kim Possible was the most successful show Disney Channel ever had after the 1990s.
So do you see why they broke the rule? after that show?
Yeah, I do.
They realized, why are we stopping this? Why are we doing this 65 episode rule?
When it's
growing, like our audience is growing.
Yeah.
It's season by season.
It's going to make you so much money.
So that's what Disney's good at.
Yeah.
Making money.
Yeah.
And making things that make money. Just leave it at that.
Okay.
Loved Kim Possible. That was a great show. Pretty much for the same reasons you said. I'll be honest with you. I kind of got defensive about the Naked Mole Rat, but I'm the same way. I could hit...
Why did you get defensive?
I don't think I got super defensive, but I'm like, you don't like him? I don't know why I did that, because when I think about it, I remember when they released his song, The Naked Mole Rat. And there was like a beat.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, this isn't funny.
No.
He's just a mole rat. He's just a naked mole rat. I don't know what's funny about that. He was trying to be his own version of what kind of like Perry the Platypus was.
Yeah.
Totally different. Not the same, but it just didn't work.
Yeah.
But everything else about the show was so good. And that show got kind of real sometimes too, which was cool. Got serious. The fighting was really awesome in it. So I like that show too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I had a crush on Kim Possible, by the way. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, of course you did.
All right. My number one is my cheat. So you cheated on your 5. I guess you didn't know you did. And I'm cheating on my number 1.
Okay. What's your what is it?
This also aired on ABC.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't watch it till it reran on Disney Channel years later.
Okay.
In fact, if you ask most people about this show, they would assume it's a Disney Channel show.
Okay.
It's kind of synonymous with it. And that show, one of my favorites of all time, period, Boy Meets World.
Oh.
Now, you know I love that show. Boy Meets World. Where do I start? So it ran from 1993 to 2000. On this whole list, this is the show that I don't have to rewatch a single episode, and I can tell you kind of what it's about.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I want to rewatch it again. Boy Meets World is a true coming-of-age show. And this is an example of the show that grows up with you, like we talked about earlier with, which one was it?
Sister.
Sister. So this went for 7 years, right? 93 to 2000. And 7 seasons. So it started with him as like a 5th grader.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And it ended with him like graduating college. So you actually watched him and his friends literally grow up and become adults. And it didn't veer away from it. So one thing I love about the show is that in the early seasons, it feels like a Disney show. It's a kid going through coming of age stuff in junior high. He's just a kid going through puberty, crushing on girls, getting into trouble, whatever, right? Learning about life. And then at the end, they're going through adult issues, and it covers a lot of things. It covers drinking. It covers, like, which is why it couldn't be a Disney Channel show. It covers a lot of serious things. It goes over, like, classes, people in different classes, and how relationships work like that. It's just, it covers really deep topics.
Yeah.
And as an adult, that's why I appreciate it so much, because I got real. I tend to like the shows that are funny, but also get real for some reason. Scrubs, another example.
Yeah.
Man, it's so good. It's just so good. I still got to have you watch that one, because I think you'd appreciate it.
Probably. That's not one that I ever watched, but
so
I always felt like I was missing out on something by not watching it.
Maybe that's one that I think that's accessible, and you don't have to, if we don't watch an episode for a while, it'd be fine. But I would love to watch that one with you.
Okay.
Even if it takes us a year and a half to watch through it.
Okay.
Because you know the whole, like, Topanga, right?
Yeah.
Corey and Topanga.
Yeah.
I mean, what a name. Man, what a name. Just, I see I'm getting all excited about the show. It's super funny, too. And the brother, he's got a kooky older brother named Eric who plays Ron, Stoppable. His real name's like Will Friedel or something like that. I might be getting that name wrong. Great show. So,
that's a good number 1.
This is from Mental Floss. Thank you. Corey and Topanga got married in the show. Spoiler alert.
We said it too late.
Too late. I still want you to watch it. You'll love it. Corey and Topanga get married in the show. So remember, this is a kid that's like picking on her when they're 10.
Yeah.
5 years later, they're getting married. Right? It's weird. You know what I mean? Because it's crazy. Maybe he was like 12 or 13. They got married when they were young, though. Corey and Topanga get married, but it wasn't written into the show. This was one of the first early examples of the internet determining like the fate of a show and asking fans. So there's an internet poll put out to ask, because the writers didn't want them to get married. They thought it was too young. We don't want to promote that, but the fans said, marry them.
Oh my gosh.
And they listened. This is in the late 90s.
Wow.
The other thing for Mental Floss is there's only 3 episodes in the entire series where Corey and Sean, his best friend, don't share at least one scene. And that's 7 seasons. So there's only 3 episodes where they don't. They had really good chemistry, so.
Aw.
Boy Meets World. Have you seen any bits and pieces of it with me? Because I've seen it from time to time since we've been together.
No, not with you. I think I've seen it on TV when I was younger. Like, I saw bits and pieces of it, but I didn't know the story, and so I didn't pay attention.
I got you.
So.
That's good.
Well,
so is that
maybe.
all?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't have anything to add really about it. I think we can watch it.
Oh, good. I have permission. Yay! She's going to let me watch it.
Well, no, I mean, we can watch it together. I don't care. You can watch it.
I get what you're saying.
You can watch it whenever you want.
Okay, fine.
On my Disney Plus.
That I haven't used in 3 years. You can't give me crap for that anymore. You haven't, though, either, for the record.
No, I haven't.
You have it since, 2021,
Yeah.
whenever this podcast started. Wow, what a fun one.
Yeah, I like this. I like this topic.
See, I spend a little more time thinking about these things than you do, so it's really interesting. Why'd you make that face?
What a claim. What a thing to say.
Do you think about Disney Channel shows when you were just bored?
Oh, no, but I thought you meant I thought you were saying well, for this episode, I thought about these more than you did. For your list. I was like, excuse me?
Classic Steph going in full defense mode. No, I was just simply saying I think about old shows and all that just for some reason.
In general,
than you do. So I only said that because I don't really talk to you about this part of the stuff I think about. So it's interesting to hear your take and what your favorite shows were. So I was happy to do that.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
We're going to draw the next topic soon. But first of all, Steph, where can people find us on the internet? And where can they tell us their top 5 favorite Disney Channel shows?
At the 2-Piece Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Also on YouTube. And now on Facebook.
Ka-chow! Look at all these horrible, slow little quips we're doing today. Let us know. Give us those reviews and ratings and subscriptions anywhere you're at. We appreciate you hanging out with us.
Yes, thank you.
Continue the conversation with us.
Yeah, please.
You ready?
Yes.
For the next one?
Yes.
Give me a drum roll and we'll pick. Oh, okay. Top 5 favorite things to do at the mall.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
That is an interesting one.
Okay.
Well, why the heck not? Let's do it.
I'm excited.
I think we're going to dip out now. What do you say, Steph? We just ate a bunch of Vietnamese food and we're full and we're ready to relax.
It's time for chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, yeah. I got to go start those cookies now. All right. Well, I guess we're going to go make cookies now.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.